Alrighty guys, y'all see that trail? Yeah, that is the one I just brought in. So there's definitely a coolant leak. She had it towed in. She didn't want to risk driving it to her. That's a little 4-cylinder. The main problem we have is this side housing right here leaking, but I don't see coolant on top of the transmission like I would normally. I know this setup right here kind of funky. All right, yes, I see smoke back here, guys. Okay, now we on to something. We got a lot of plastic going on back here. What do we got heater hoses, rubber right here. We got found it. Wait a minute, what the hell? So did it break? Yep. Oh my goodness. Yeah, the plastic tee. It looks still, oh look, it's coming apart. It's so freaking brittle. Oh my goodness, guys. Now, mind you guys, this is a high mileage car. I know y'all gonna be in the comment section, you already use plastic, use aluminum, darn it. You might have a point on this one. Okay, now, but still, man, a lot of people will argue they building cars to fail. I don't think they building them to fail. Guys, a couple of things you need to keep in mind with any part. All right, there's a failure point to any part on your car. Now, yes, you will start throwing up speculation as to why a part failed when a part failed. That's the only time you're going to discuss when parts or why parts fail is when a part failed that you're dealing with. And I might be on your side a little bit. I don't really think this should have been plastic, but manufacturers now, like, and I preach maintenance a lot. So will maintenance have prevented this? What I mean by maintenance related to this is like coolant flush. Will new coolant, like, it's not really low, like, have they ever serviced a coolant system? You see where I'm going with this? Okay, because you can lose properties. The coolant has a lot of additives in it to help prevent rust and things like that. Okay, so if it's, I don't know, this is what year is this? Depending on the year, if they have the 10-year or the 5-year coolant in it, that matters, guys, because you do have to change your coolant out, flush your coolant system periodically, you know, according to the manufacturer. Now, if you had been doing that, would this would have been prevented? It's hard to say. Yeah, it's extremely hard to say, but at any rate, I got to get it fixed. So let me give her an estimate on these hoses. I'm thinking I'm gonna get another plastic tee. I don't know, but we'll wait and find out. So that's all I have on this video, man. I found that coolant leak. I didn't even have to pressure test it. Easy peasy, baby. All right, I gotta go. Stay tuned. More than Burnout. Holy crap. Oh my goodness. One of those burnouts going wrong. Out of control. Burnout going bad. It's not exactly total, guys, so it can be fixed with a few front end parts. But again, if you can't handle the power, don't punch it. Okay, it's just simple as that. I don't know what happened. This is a black Charger with a 392 in it. Now I wonder what they bill gonna cost. P0740, guys, torque converter, clutch, solenoid, circuit, or something like that. Well, anyway, this is one of those customers that says, just put a torque converter on my car. I'm thinking, because looking at these covers right here, they got fresh RTV on them. I'm thinking somebody already been inside here. The cover to replace this torque converter clutch solenoid, which in my opinion never failed. I've been doing this a long time. I have never put on one of those clutch converter solenoids. Okay, they don't even call it that anymore because it was misleading the consumers into thinking if they have that code, they automatically need a torque converter clutch solenoid. Here's the old torque converter. He may be right. I don't know. Now, if he looked at one of my videos, which is all over YouTube, I go a step further. I don't just replace the torque converter. I do the front pump as well, because the torque converter rides on the shaft input clutch assembly, which is in turn bolted to the front pump. All right, so I always go a step further and do the front pump and a torque converter. That's all if The insides are okay. Guys, I didn't scan this thing. This is one of those, he trying to get out of diagnosis, just put a part on and do what I say, and I'm gonna pay you whatever you charge and blah blah this. So I have no stake in this diagnosis, whether it's right or wrong. I think he's just trying to get rid of that check engine light, which is P074 oil. Replace the torque converter. That's the old one. Here's a new one. I'm finna put it back in, go drive it, and see what happened. I'll let y'all know in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Alrighty guys, here it is right here. 2015, I want to say. Intermittent, no crank. Sometime it will not start. Customer said this will not start. Let's see. Uh-oh, started right up. So let me get in the shop, guys, and we'll start the diagnosis from there. Let's get it. Alrighty guys, I'm in the shop. Okay, let's go out here and find out. I couldn't duplicate it, guys. It fires right up every time. But y'all know what I'm going for. I'm looking straight at the heart and soul of the electrical system, in my opinion, which is the battery. Let's take a look. Alrighty, typical 3.6 Pentastar. Oh, it's a new battery. All right. Oh man. Oh, look at that. See that there, guys? This is what. I mean, take a look at this. Now, they could have went and got another connector. Okay, these battery terminals are replaceable. So the good news is they could have went and go get one from a dealer, guys, an OEM. This crap right here is not good. Look at this. This is their problem right here. Alrighty guys, y'all saw that that shorts I just uploaded, guys, talking about the 06DD, the check engine light on this van. Look at this, guys. I'm getting ready to put an oil pump on. Well, at least I was. Might be a change of plans now. Look at this mess. Okay, yes, this would definitely destroy a oil pump. Oh my freaking goodness, guys. Remember I showed y'all the oil. The oil wasn't really black. I think they just changed the oil to impress us. It's too late, buddy. You need an oil pump. You might even need an engine. I don't even know if I'm gonna put that in now. I'm not making this call, guys. I gotta go get a manager to show them this. But yeah, this would definitely set a P06DD. I'm in the process of, oh my goodness, I'm in the process. Look at that. I'm in the process of changing the oil pump. But yeah, I'm gonna have to stop, guys. Oh my goodness, look at this. Oh. All right, guys, I got to go get some higher ups and let them make this call. This is not a JT call. Stay tuned. This car is in from another shop. Cousin Pookie strikes again. Look at this hose right here, guys. I think these Gates hoses, yeah, because we only use Mopar over here. Now, the thing is, she having coolant leak after this work been done. If you look at it from this angle, it look like coolant leaking from this outlet valve. But guys, this may be the best argument you're going to have for using tensioner clamp. They went back in with a worm clamp. Now, I haven't put a screwdriver on there to see how tight it is because I'm more interested in finding out exactly where the leak is. In fact, let's go dumpster diving. Let me see if y'all can see. All right, guys, it looks like it's coming from the outer part of that hose. I'm thinking, did they not tighten this right? First, I thought it was that bleeder outlet valve, but that might not be the case. Yeah, I got a lot of, oh my goodness, it's not tight. Now, I'm gonna tighten it up. If you notice, this hose right here has a tensioner clamp, but they went in with a worm clamp on this one, guys. If it's a plastic valve you're working with, you might wanna use tensioner clamps. All right, stay tuned.